Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
But now we all love it. You know, lovely visuals. Olene was saying that lovely performance at the Emmys as well. Of course, now this song has grown on all of us and people are jamming to it. And those are visuals you just saw right now on your screens, as well as listening to it on Plus 89.9 FM. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before even jumping to who's paying us and who's making us be here this morning, say thank you to our clients. Let me say a very big welcome in the house, Lydia Forson!
Hi, everybody.
Wait. First off, I was on a hair growing and I didn't work.
No, you're using the wrong products.
We are talking about it now. We are talking about. Who
mentioned Kinky Matters to you?
I know. So wait. This is not wait.
Kinky Matters.
No, this is. See, I plead the fifth. Because if it's a long story, if I try to explain, only hair people will understand.
Explain.
So most of it. Yeah. So when you have a huge afro like mine, it's always difficult because this shrinkage. I'm sure you know. Like you sleep like this and you wake up and your hair has done one. If I sit in my car, it's
the
like this.
Looks flat.
So I have amazing hairstylist who's able to mix stuff in there so it stays the same length throughout the day. Yeah.
So what is this a special ingredients in there or what? Because
ingredients, hair, a whole lot of stuff. Hairstylists are able to do all kinds of magic with my hair.
So the last one is what just killed me. But what about my hair?
Oh, but you can.
I can do something?
You can.
You think like I can?
You can grow it. But you see, I always tell men that, because I believe it or not, a lot of guys buy my products, a majority of guys buy my products, but they wait for their hair to be like, they are in their 40s and when it starts going like this. And I tell people that, we are miracle workers, but we are not Jesus.
You're talking about Jay here because...
You know how what did the president say about raising the economy but can't raise the dead, right? Yeah. We can raise some of your hair, but not all your hair.
We can try.
We can grow your hair, but not your hairline.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But so how long how long has it taken you? Like is this lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my hair went through so many different transitions. Believe it or not, when I started the industry, and even till date, getting a natural hairstylist on set is it's a nightmare.
Wow.
So when I started my transition, my hair was half perm, half natural.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's so many different things.
So many things.
And then I cut my hair all off. I had very short hair. Like when I saw her hair, I was like, I love it because I used to have my hair like that once.
Oh.
Not this short, but very short.
Wow.
And then my mom would tell me that, so I started growing out my hair, but I cut it and I play around with it. The natural hair is versatile. So you can do so much with it.
I just wish I had a quarter.
You can. You can. But men feel like they don't have to care for their hair, their skin. When I see guys who go like, oh, I've not moisturized in 10 years. I'm like, don't worry.
Like it's a flex, right?
I'm like, don't worry. I give you to when you're 40 and you're 50.
Shots.
And there's no flex at all.
No.
Talk to us directly. Don't use
I don't know why Lydia just came no time shouting.
in our own house.
How much will it take? How much would it take to be paid to cut it off to play a role? Maybe to Lenny's, to shave everything off to play a role.
I mean, you see, I think for me, because I am such a deep actor, of course I'll take money.
Okay.
But if the story, I'm not afraid to lose my hair because it's just one part of who I am. I love it, but she has bald hair. She looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
You get me? So, I mean, if the story is right, it's where would the movie take me? Because I've seen people who, I mean, it's like 50 Cent lost a whole lot of weight to play some more and he didn't get his Grammy. So like, where will it take me? If it's a story where I feel like it's going to take me to the Oscars, I mean, they wouldn't have to even talk much.
Charlie, I know, right? For actresses and actors, there's some of the sacrifices that you have to, you have to literally just go through to be able to just entertain us. And that brings me to my question: that what was the most difficult decision you had to take
to warm up?
to play.
Yeah,
It's a hot seat.
I'm like,
I know, right?
The hottest seat.
The warm up was the hair.
There was the
Like
hair.
that, to
now
be
I
honest.
have to say something intelligent because I think I recognize you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Olele.
Hey,
Oh,
loud
shoot.
guy. Hey.
So now I have to say something right.
Yeah.
Or after zero, we go back and forth. So it's all love. I'm like, oh God, I have to say something
He
intelligent.
just remembers of the hair, you know. He just, you know.
No, you know, I went to the barber yesterday, and typical guy, I sat in the chair and fell asleep. The guy could have drawn a dragon on my head. I was like, he was like, see me. I was like, yeah.
The barbers, and then they'll be taking your hairline.
Small. In the name of shape.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Erade.
Name of ship.
Erade.
No, but I know it's a good woman, but then what would be that one role that you had to play that was pretty difficult because maybe you had to go against morals, values, interests,
Personal values, stuff like that.
You know what? I've always said I've been blessed in my career path, and also because I'm very principled. When I get a script, I've worked with amazing directors who have allowed me to, shape stories. Like when we're doing KTK, for instance, we did a table read, and I sat down with Peter, and I was like, oh, this is a little bit misogynistic. How do we do it? But maybe because they trust me as an actor, ultimately, I want this movie to be a good movie. So I'm able to, and I'm a writer as well.
Yeah.
So I'm able to bring my input. So I've been very lucky in that department. So I don't think I've done stuff that have really gone against my morals. If anything, has been like, I don't feel comfortable, but I've had directors who have trusted me to change. Like there's some lines in movies where I'm
Cringy
like,
stuff.
I'm like, I can't. There was a line in a movie where I was supposed to say, "Oh God of single women," when will you? And I was like, I'm not going to say that, right? But I think if anything,
God of single
There's a
women.
different God for them.
Charlie,
I'm like, oh
Charlie,
God of single, when will I find my own guy?
Single women in suffer.
Charlie.
And I asked the director,
Stray
like,
bullets.
okay.
Today somewhere just the catch stray
And I was
bullets.
like, I don't mind this, but why are we saying this line? Like, because when you're acting, who, where, what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah, what's the premise?
Yes.
So I'm like, why are we saying?
God of single women.
So, I'm like, but my director was fantastic. He trusted me enough. But if anything, I think the challenges have been, like I did. I don't know if you know, A Sting in a Tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite
So
old.
there's a scene where I go into the water and I'm there for a few seconds, and I have to stay down. They create this illusion.
With our superstitions, you went into the water for a few seconds.
My dear, we didn't have green screen, so
You have to do real screen.
I have to do real screen, and I have to go into the water for a few seconds so that they can shoot me going in and create stillness, and then I come back up.
Yeah.
I thought about that thing for like 3 weeks. Like I prayed. Look, I took anointing oil.
Wow.
Because we're filming at something called the magic hour. So if you're in filmmaking, so it's like golden hours, like just before sunrise.
Yeah.
So that's when spirits.
That's when the witches are returning back to human form.
And I was so
They're coming back from work.
Let me
They're
tell
coming back from work.
and
It's like,
guess what?
Lydia, I don't know, you know.
Let me say the anointing I took too much because then my body would not stay underwater. So now they had to get these fishermen, and they are experts. So he has to take me down the water and keep me there. Right, and these people apparently can stay underwater for several minutes. It's amazing. And I think that day, one of our crew members had drowned. He didn't die, but he had drowned. So I was like, I mean, I think I was in such a mood. I even had an argument with my director. That was Shirley at that point. Like, why are you doing that? I was like, this is what take you to Hollywood, And there's a scene in the movie where I cried, and it was real tears because I was like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And the guy just pulled me down. And when we got the shot, I think the reward was when the audience watched it. I was like, you
have no
understand.
idea.
When you went through
I am
together,
not-
right?
It was
I am not Tom Cruise.
I'm not
Don't be doing this to me. Oh. I'm playing ball here now. Wow, that must be scary. Do you have any movies that have been really difficult for you to have, like played? Not because maybe you were busy or something, but like lines and the role.
I mean, I think every movie comes with a different challenge. It's hard to pick just one, but I would say I loved making KTK, but it was also very challenging.
I love that movie
because it was a 2-character film, right? So that means Jew and poor, meet and agility, plenty. And shout out to Peter, fantastic filmmaker. We didn't have a lot of real ways then. So we shot in one location in different angles.
Yeah.
And we're filming in the middle. It's a place called Manguase somewhere. There was like getting there is something else. The sun, I came back with sunbed for about like a month. I couldn't go to any events because my face was all, bent. You can see the difference. It was such a difficult movie to make, but it was also such a lovely movie to make because I was working with people who Ajit is an amazing, the people always say we work well together because we trust each other as actors. So we knew we were making magic. Sometimes, like, where we would eat. If you would.
So let's talk about that because I was going to ask. Now you've gone home away from
behind
home,
the scenes.
Far away. Yes, that BTS. Some of the things that we don't know. I mean, all we just watch is the movie. I mean, lovely visuals. Shouts go to Peter. I love it. I love it. Some of the things that you go through behind there that we don't have any idea how tough it is to make it happen.
Yeah.
You've already talked about, in terms of temperature, weather, and it's having an effect on you. Food, yeah. Food is always a major.
You see, people see the life of a movie actor on Instagram.
Were you going and coming, or you had to?
We had to camp in a hotel. Now, you see, there are places where you are filming that is not good into.
Yeah.
So we had to camp in a hotel. We had to wake up like 4 a.m. every day and drive. They put us in a taxi because the road it was just so bad. We needed to get a taxi from that area, and a taxi driver would drive us there. And it's an hour of bad road. Ooh. So thank God it was with Ajit, just the two of us, right? I mean, the crew would always
Peter
be
go and find out the location?
See, now you think life is hard for us. For the crew, it's 10 times worse because, for the actors, you have to try and make our life comfortable. Not that the crew don't matter, but they are like, when I finish my set for the day, they still have to stay. So like the sound guy, the camera guy, the director, they have to be on set before we get on set. And sometimes they have to sleep in the neighboring, villages, right? So you have to, we leave like 5 a.m., get there, and the morning we'll probably have like some oats or, and it's in this bowl. You have to make do with what you have there. I mean, my favorite thing was watermelon because we'll buy fruits and then I did it and I will put like the palm trees on because there's sometimes nowhere to sit.
Wow.
So we'll make our own, I remember one time
because the place was empty.
Yeah. So I remember once, in the first day, I think I had heat stroke where, it was so hot. Like, I didn't know, when Caucasians talk about heat stroke and it's in the summertime.
You think it's far from you.
What are the beaches that they do?
Let me tell you, my feet, I was just shaking. I could not, breathe. I was dehydrated. And we just had to pause, pour down some water and drink. So the whole experience was really, really intense.
Were you psyched for this before you went there? Did Peter tell you that, okay guys, listen, where we are going to? I wonder how he himself found a place.
No matter how psyched you were, it was the same experience we went through when we filmed Boga. It was a German film. It was Ajit and I as well. No matter how psyched you are, nothing prepares you for what you are going. I think what makes filming easy for me, and that's why I'm very selective about the movies that I do. I know the kind of actor I am. I need to work with actors who I don't necessarily have to like, but they get it. Crew members, director, even the assistants on set matter. They make your experience a lot more, happier. So when you're going through a bad moment, you know that we are like one family, we are having fun. When you're working with people who are difficult, when you're working with directors who don't understand, on top of memorizing your line and going through a bad moment, you have to deal with people you don't like. So you're just angry every day, on set, and it's not fun.
I can imagine. Okay.
You hear a few times how people applaud Lydia Forson for, being a very good actor.
Oh, thank
However, some people also say that it's difficult working with you. What would you say to that? Just to clear. I mean, I've heard it a few times where
working with Lydia.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard.
I wouldn't be surprised. I always tell people that if you believe I'm difficult, usually it's because you're unprofessional.
Right.
Who you get is really based on you. There's a reason why certain directors will call me over and over again, and there are certain people who call me and I'll just simply say no. I'm not an actor just to become famous, and there's nothing wrong with I always say there's nothing wrong with the social media world, and pick your path and go with it, but I'm an actor to the core. This is who I am. This is my passion. I am the kind of person who's researching my character. So if you give me a call time, like this one I was telling you, I gave you advance notice. Like time is very important to me. So difficult is what people call anyone who they believe they cannot maybe control, they cannot get away with certain things. I mean, if I come on a set and you tell me my call time is 7 a.m. and everybody comes at 11 a.m., that's disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to the crew. For me, I respect everybody on set. So anytime, like I will sit with two directors, and it's actually happened before where someone had said that, oh, Lydia is difficult, and the director was like, no, she's the easiest person. Lydia will help you with continuity. I'm the kind of person like, no, director, this was not the earring I was wearing. Or I'll read the script and I'm like, no, this line is wrong. I mean, and that's why maybe Shirley and I work so well together. Shirley is my friend, but I cannot play on her set. If I'm late, she'll treat me just how she'll treat any other upcoming. But I respect her because she does not play with her job. We might talk on the phone. Right? Yeah, we might talk on the phone and laugh, but when I'm on set,
it's a different ball game.
It's a different ball game. So I bring my A game. So you will never hear Shirley say, I'm difficult. You will never hear anybody who says this. I always ask, what did you do? I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know, and that's why, because I know the kind of actor I am, I got to the point where I said, I'm going to be selective about the movies that I do, because I don't want to come on your set, expect a certain standard, and then you don't give me that standard, and then we are clashing heads, and you walk away and say, Lydia is difficult. So I'm like, it's happened so many times. I said, you don't want me on your set. It's okay.
So talking professionalism then, which movie or which, I mean, I'm sure most of them you've had that experience, you know, of working people are very professional. Which one would you say that, yo, Charlie, these people, Charlie, this
I'll never go back.
yeah.
There's
like,
one, I'll not mention their name.
Not even go back, Actually, you actually go back to.
Like I said, I've been very blessed with the films I've done. There's only one. But, I mean, yesterday I was just talking to a director. We did a film 2 years ago. He wants us to do another film. So I can't really say that there's... I've been very lucky, very blessed to be surrounded by amazing directors, crew, cast. I cannot sit here and just say that, oh, I'm a fantastic actor. I've just had to work with amazing people who have also helped make me look good.
Let's talk about the movie. Do you keep record of the number of movies you've been in or you've acted in? Like your catalog?
You know what? When I was starting, I used to hear Genevieve Naji. I've done 80 movies. I was like, when will it get to my turn?
To have uncountable.
But you know, I when it comes to my career, I don't think because I've not done a lot of mass production movies. Not to, put down anybody, but you know the kinds of... I've not done a lot of too many commercial films. So I can remember for the most part, but as I get older, like this year, someone was like, have you done a movie this year? I was like, oh no. Oh, wow, yeah. I've done 2 actually. I don't...
Have you gone past 30?
30?
Yeah. It could be.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, wow, that would be something.
It could be.
It could be. I don't remember.
Because the mainstream ones alone are listed as 18.
Oh,
on IMDb.
Really?
And the data here is backdated. And your face and everything. So.
See your face.
You just pulled that up.
We are researching on you very.
So to now add those that are commercial and everything.
What about awards? I was saving that for later in the convo, but then let's talk about the awards. The ones you picked up, global, international. Because I mean, when you come international, I mean, you've nailed it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You've nailed it. Let's talk about them.
I should mention my awards.
Yes, some of the real prestigious big ones that you grabbed. That
I think in 2010 she won
the best
African Movie Academy Award.
Yeah, I remember that.
You should have told me to pull up my own. I'm like, no, you see, I always feel like an upcoming actor.
Sir?
Yeah, always.
Hey.
Because you never, how do you know when you've peaked?
You know household
most promising actress.
Thank you, Cyril.
2009 nominee, AMAA, Lydia Forson. 2010 AMAA Best Actress,
very well.
Perfect Picture.
Very well.
2017 nominee, Keteke, 2018, Side Chick Gang, 2022, Boga.
And
Let me open they say there's and more. Let me do the and more.
I think the awards I've always liked for me. I've even liked the nominations because when you're nominated against, I remember I was nominated against Lupita one time, and for me, I was like, I don't care if I win.
Yeah. The recognition alone.
I get to say I was nominated against Lupita. But any nomination is see, at some point in my acting career, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning I was like, oh gosh, like I don't make it to nominations and stuff like that. So I made a conscious effort not to pay attention to that. My brother would tell me, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to become famous? Are you doing this to win awards? And I'm like, I love telling stories. So focus on that. And when I did start focusing on that, I would get a lot more nominations, wins, but I really would not. Like my AMVC award, it was not, I have awards that I have not put in if you come to my house, you don't see.
You don't display them?
I don't display them.
Oh.
So I woke up one morning, my mom had just gone to put every award. Then I was like, what's going on? Yes.
And roughly how many were they?
I can't count.
More than 18?
I don't know.
So you will pull it out.
I'm not as big as people make me.
You are.
Hey,
excuse you. Excuse you.
I honestly don't.
No. It's not such. It's not such.
Really?
Then maybe.
It's not. I'm trying to be modest, but you see, in my mind, when you start as an actor, you're like, I can't wait to work with this person. I can't wait to do. And there's still stuff I cannot wait to do. I mean, I think.
And which one would some of those be? What are some of those aspirations?
I love characters that completely, like when we did Boga, I loved Boga. So I did the audition, and the director was like, I was supposed to play the young mother, and he just loved me so much. He's like, can we age her?
Okay.
And are you willing to do that? I was like, yes. I mean, I like things that the wildest stuff. I mean, I don't like the makeup roles, because you know what happens every day. You are sweating, you have to change your the local because I think I'm a hot chick, so I don't need validation.
Come on now.
That's right.
Tell him.
Oh, my pleasure.
Please, so don't go use this as a
soundbite.
Did you guys get that? Good. On look.
Think.
9:37.
Oh,
think
no.
I'm a hot girl. I don't need all of that.
But
do you want to go and see the last photo? That
I'm afraid. The person I'm afraid of who has not said it is this one.
Really?
I feel like he's going to say something.
The person with two computers in front of me.
He's writing as we're going. But yeah, Boga was. I mean, I absolutely love. I feel like I grew so much as an actor. My director York was like, listen, we had this scene in the middle of Agboboloshi. And it was an emotional scene. I had to cry, right? And I thought I had it in the bag. You get to a level where you're like, yeah, I can cry. And we're filming, and he pulled me aside, and he looked at me, and he said, you can give me way more than you're giving me. And I was like, this guy, you know me, So it took about an hour to film something that was going to show about just 30 seconds in the movie.
Whoa.
Then he called me again. He's like, I feel you can go deeper. I was like,
wow.
So he called me the last time, and he said to me, I think you're a very strong woman. I love everything about you. These are true words.
Wow.
So you're a strong woman. I love everything about you. You're so strong. You're powerful. Nobody can tell you anything. But there's so many layers in you. Wow. And you're afraid to let people see that vulnerability. And this guy starts saying, I'm crying. I'm like, why is this guy telling me this? Because, as an actor, sometimes you mask who you are.
Yeah.
But the only way you can be a good actor is be willing to be extremely vulnerable. And even though I was vulnerable, I had not unlocked that. See, crying in a movie is beyond just tears. You have to be able to go into your memory bank and think of a moment. Trigger. Yeah. And you have to be able to let go and be ugly and cry and be.
So when they say cut, and you're still.
So you see, and that's why working with a professional, because when you're working with an unprofessional, you can't go from a scene like that and do a funny scene. You are emotionally spent. So that day, I was weak and tired of crying. I was crying in the middle of Agboboloshi with Maka women around me. I was praying in tree and all of those things. I was spent. And when I was done, he called me. He's like, I'm giving you the rest of the day off. You need to just go and relax.
Perfect.
And that is, see, that's the difference.
That's an insightful director.
Do you understand? But and I can't blame Ghanaian directors as well, because we don't have money. You know, so
to rent everything again for
everything
for you to get together.
So it's like, okay, and real. So
okay, Lydia, Charlie, well done, Charlie. Let's go to the comedy scene. Nice.
No, but you
know how much are the red light? You know how much are the red light?
So what I do now is I ask the director, I'm like, can we shoot another scene with this same mood?
Yeah, that kind of energy.
I'm at the point in my career where I'm not afraid to ask. And I'm like, can I take a break? Can you shoot this person's scene before you come back to me? So we try to. Yeah. But it's very difficult sometimes.
Imagine.
Yeah.
But you know what she just said, that she's at a point in her career where she's not afraid to ask.
If you understand me or not.
If you understand me or not, it's okay. But at which point did you get to that point, you know, and how long did it take? What was the hold back, you know, for you to speak up and, you know,
Madam,
say it
have you
as
been
it is?
upcoming before? when you're upcoming, but you know, if I'm being very honest, I think I've always been very vocal.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like at some point in my career, I was kind of low-key blacklisted because I was very, very professional. But you kind of just know. When you're working with people who don't know you, don't know what you're bringing to the table, who are you to go and say, I want this way, I want that this way? I've always, you know, asked. I'm not a rude person, contrary to what people think. You know me.
Oh yeah.
We'll fight small, but I would tell you what I think. But when you're upcoming and you are not the lead, you don't have that much power. So I think you have to just know how to read the room.
Right.
I always circle back to directors like Shirley, because even for an upcoming actor, you can go to her and have a conversation with her that, you know. But so it was more my fears of, what if I say this and they don't call me back? But once I got away from the idea that, again, that's what my brother would ask me, why are you doing this? If you're doing this just to be famous, then you're afraid of not being called back. You're afraid of losing this. But if you know in your gut you are doing this for the right reason, you're not afraid to speak up and ask certain questions. So I think it just kind of happened.
Have you ever had to walk off set?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's a difficult.
I've done it once, and it's something I'm not happy about. Yeah.
Wow.
Why did you?
Was it your fault or their fault?
It was their fault. But you know, I want to be able to. I'm a professional. Whether I'm friends with someone should not matter. When we're on set, we are doing a job.
Yeah.
Right.
So I really hate that I have to bring, you know, and that's why whenever people will say that, okay, Lydia will not do a movie because this person is in it, that's never been me. But I don't play publicity stunts, you know.
Ooh,
I take my job very seriously. Right. So it was at a point where, I mean, I still don't know the full story. Everybody has their version, but I was put in an uncomfortable situation with someone, and it was clearly for internet buzz. And it just, I was like, no, I've never had to do this to sell a movie, and I don't want to do that now. And it was very difficult for me, but I made calls to people higher up, and I said, and they all told me that, you know, I spoke to the director, and I don't think I even walked off. I just told them that I'm not comfortable with doing this. And they said, you know what, we'll just cancel it for the day. And then they recast it and everything. It's not something I'm proud of.
So you didn't feature in the movie at all?
No, I did eventually, but they had to move certain things around. I've never done that, but I was like, you know, I get enough heat on the internet on a normal day. I don't mind that. But when it comes to, I'm like, let people say anything about me. You know, Lydia is this, Lydia is that. But when it comes to my work, I don't want that to come into my work.
But you see, you know, as Ghanaians, at the end of the day, if we're supposed to name some black star 11 for the film industry, we'll have to come back to you now. If we're to present, okay, let's present our Lupita from Ghana, your name will come up. Well, you see, that's one
it's
thing.
It's inevitable.
We would just say all we want to say, but you know, at the end of the day, you are the forefront of all this thing.
Thank
you know,
you.
so
I really
we can't. Yeah, we can't run away from it. At the end of the day, list top 10 female actors we have in this country. You would definitely.
So sorry. I never thought I would.
Come back to these are household names.
It's interesting hearing people say that. I don't feel.
I also wanted to find out from her if you've seen a script that you thought, this is not me and I don't want to do it.
Oh yeah, several.
There's probably one on her phone now.
I mean, everybody.
What are some of the things you consider in accepting to play a particular role, or accepting to take the script?
What's the Lydia Forson role?
I think because I'm a writer, immediately you send me a script, I'm looking at the template you've used. I can always tell if you're a professional writer or not.
Right.
Because you see, writing a story is different from writing a script.
Okay.
A screenplay.
Okay.
Right? So immediately, straight off the back, I'm like, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Like, Ghana, everybody feels like, oh, I have a story. My story, my life is a story. I'm like, everybody's life is a story.
Right.
So I mean, when I see that, I'm like, but I always read every script to the end, good or bad, because I want to make an informed decision. When I read a script and it's, I want to know what we are what are you trying to say? If it's like, it was an era where everybody wanted to do chick flick, okay, but what is the message?
After we got done with the evil mother-in-law.
Yeah. We're still sometimes there.
I saw red card.
Because sometimes I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, but where is this going? Yeah, it has to. So if I'm reading it and halfway I'm bored, there's a problem. But I don't make a decision just yet. I look at the director, because the script is just one thing. But when you come on set and you have a great director and great cast, we're able to, trust me, there are scripts that I've read, and when I watch, I'm like, this is not the same thing. So it's story is very important, but every other element is important. So, for instance, if I'm doing a movie and Ajite is in it, I'm excited because I know that with Ajite, between us, we'll be like, why don't we do this like this? Like, Keteke, there was a scene where Ajite was supposed to pick me up. I'm like, bro, you and I both know you can't pick me up. Not that he can't, but I'm carrying a box. I'm supposed to be heavy. It was just unrealistic. So how do we play this? So we played it like he attempts, right? And it's like I'm falling. We played it out. Then to shoot that scene itself, I think I'm really too many secrets. I don't know if I should say it.
I mean, the movie's out there, so I mean,
okay, but to film that scene, we got two people to want to hold my leg, want to hold my, and a lot of people were holding me. And then Ajite was walking by me pretending to be holding me. Oh. Because I had a huge suitcase that was heavy. So how was he supposed to carry me? And then we stuffed my tummy, as well. But because it was Ajite, we had the discussion way before that. How do we play this and make it a bit comical? That, realistically, and I'm not ashamed of these things, but how many people can pick their wives up?
That's right.
Right? Yeah. Especially a heavily pregnant wife. Yeah. So how do we play?
Two people.
But if you are working with someone who is not as creative, when is there?
You take it literally.
Literally, like, okay, your man is way.
I want to know, okay, so you are very specific, very intentional with the kind of roles you play and your input and all that. Now, I like money. So
I like money more than
praise the Lord. So hallelujah. I want to know, is that your billing structure as well? Are you fixed, or do you look at the project and say, okay, this is the artistic benefit to me, it's a great director, this is how it's going to leverage, so I'm going to build this? Or is it a flat rate, I'm Lydia Forson, me and Lupita are nominated, so bring my check?
No. No.
You get what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. And again, credit to my brother. My brother has been an amazing mentor. He told me, your first 5 films, you're probably not going to be paid anything, but it's going to be your foundation. Pick the movies right. So,
yeah.
And I love that you brought this up, because there's showbiz, right? A lot of actors or entertainers are always focused on just their craft without understanding the business.
No biz.
My money doesn't just come from film. I'm a brand. It comes from so many other things. So there are sometimes like Keteke came to me first as a short film. I just was not in the place to do it at the time, and then he decided to do it as a feature. And it was his first movie. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to pay me my going rates, even though he paid me well. I sat down, I was like, okay, this looks like it can take me to a certain place. So yes, there are the people I just charge plenty are people who they are just not willing to listen. Like, okay,
Fine.
that's what, okay.
Then take my
carry me. No problem. Carry me.
Take me.
Give me my
But
money.
you pay me.
But I think not just for my industry, even in Hollywood, you know, there are things you do for people. You always have to ask yourself, what am I getting? And then there are films that you do that you get a percentage of. So you know that, okay, this person doesn't necessarily have the money, but they are willing to write you into the film in a way where you will also make, like RMD just did the same thing with Black Book. So there are ways you can make, you know, your money. There are directors who will tell you that, okay, so when we are doing, I say like, okay, why am I saying okay like that?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But there are directors who will be like, when we are touring for films, okay, this is a percentage we'll give you. So you can really have it. I'm always willing to listen, right? So you cannot, I don't think it's right for any actor to just have like, there's a cutoff point though. You know, there's a point you can't go below, but I don't think it's the smartest thing to just say, this is what I charge, nothing more, because there are going to be stories that will give you way more than the money.
So it's very interesting you say this, because I was wondering how the Actors Guild play a role in these things, because normally these are the groups or organizations that's supposed to help.
Did you hear that sigh?
The sigh.
I don't know if you heard it.
that's
Bro.
She's not signed yet too.
And it's my question is tripartite, because after that I also want to find out,
Like South Africa.
Sigh apartheid.
That's apartheid. Is it?
Number 222. Viewers are sorry. Now they are opening this narrative. Oh, Charlie. Mr. Computer.
you know, because
Computer man.
So I wanted to find out how the Actors Guild is faring in conversations like this, because, you know, Juliet was here.
Juliet Asante.
Yes, 2 days ago, and she touched on a number of things that she thinks, you know, have become plagues to the progress of the industry. You talk about, you know, remuneration, showbiz, and all that, and so on and so forth. What is the Actors Guild doing about all of this? You know, and that's if you're even a part of it.
You know, when I started, and rest in peace, Mr. Neodoy, he was the Actors Guild president there. I got my Actors Guild card, and you know, they were doing a lot. I cannot sit here and comfortably talk about the Actors Guild because there's a lot I don't even know.
No.
Right.
You see, our industry lacks structure, and we can't put it just on the actors. Our industry has not been treated like the business that it should be treated as. You know, one time, one of these, I don't know if the Minister of Information, he was talking about how, you know, when they do a budget, unfortunately, the creative industry doesn't get a lot of money, actually. And his reason for that is because there are other things that take precedence. And I felt that was...
Sorry, I just had to cut him because I just saw a picture of this.
Okay.
I'll tell you a story about how the train nearly, you know, killed me.
Oh my days! Let's finish with the actors.
But, and when he said that, why I took offense, because I'm like, if you understand the role creatives play, and it's something, it's subconscious. A lot of people love what we do.
Right.
They love being associated with entertainers, but they don't think we deserve. They don't think we deserve to be paid well. They don't respect what we do. So if you call me and I tell you that, okay, to come to your party, this is how much I'm charging you. Why are you charging? But where do you think I get money from?
As she do the film, she started
like the appearance fee bit. Really
like, where
important.
do you think I get the money from? And then you will now come and make comments about women in the industry and all of that. But so it's not just on the actors. I know there are actors who are trying to, you know, they are. During my time when I started, I knew that there were even an effort for upcoming actors. I remember Mr. Neodoy would say, okay, there's a series, let's put people in, you know. But now we've all had to find our own way. Now, we don't have, like in Nigeria, they have the Bank of Industries where creatives can go and get money, right, to do a film. And not just that, you are helped to distribute and all of that. When you talk about Netflix in Nigeria, it's not just like that. There's a lot of support from the government. Now, an industry that is mostly individually funded, you can't come and tell me what I should do. So if a director or producer is collecting, I'm bringing in equipment and I'm not getting any tax incentives. How are you going to tell me what to do in the industry?
After paying
do you get me? So yes, Juliet and the rest are doing their best, and so many others, but we cannot start making headway until
some of these things are dealt
with, until our leaders actually understand. You talk about year of return, and yes, there were parties, but entertainments are a huge part of why people are flocking in. They are not coming in to come and just go to Kakuma and the rest. Whilst it's beautiful, they want to party.
Facts.
The nightlife was actually a key part of it. Yeah.
Now, if I go to Nigeria, when I was the AMAA ambassador, and mind you, I'm a Ghanaian who is the AMAA ambassador, I was traveling around the world. Going for the visa, I don't know what it was like. All I know is I just take my passport, they make calls from Nigeria to the consulate, and I'll get my visa. Those are some of the incentives. Everything was paid for. Now, when I'll go to Hollywood, they would ensure that I was being treated like a star, so that with other Hollywood actors, they see us and they're like, we're on the same level. So there's so much that goes into it, but it really starts with mindset. I've seen, like, on your page, you are very intentional about promoting, and it's very important. So the structure we lack is not because we are not trying, but you also need money.
Facts.
Who funds the? If all the members are paying their dues for Actors Guild, great. But is it enough to even rent the building? Is it enough? There are things that just have to go into place. So if I'm doing a movie, and it's a story, I've done it before, where I had to go and shoot at the University of Ghana, and I wrote to them. They got back to me 6 months later to tell me that I cannot film there.
6 months later.
That's a long time.
So now, if you tell me, why aren't we doing Kwame Nkrumah film? Why aren't we doing Yasanto? Do you even understand that we have to have access to certain places? We have to have access to certain things.
People's estates, stuff like that.
So I wish I had the power to say, I don't think I even know enough. I don't think I'm qualified to speak on a lot of these things, but the little I have experienced, we are in an industry where it's sustaining because individuals love what they do.
If they put money
into it. I've done a movie and I've made a huge loss. I didn't make one profit back.
Whoa.
But nobody cares. You know, so it's very our industry is hanging on creatives who just love it.
I may sound ignorant asking this question, but we get excited when we finally get to see Ghanaian movies on Netflix. I think you have 2 movies on Netflix.
No, I have, I think, about 5.
Now 5?
Yeah. Well, they are not all Ghanaian films.
I'm talking about the Ghanaian ones.
Yeah.
I think there's KTK and there's Side Chick. And
there's Perfect Picture.
Perfect Picture. I didn't want to add Perfect Picture and Adam's Apples because all those were a bit old.
It's still
No, they're 10 years later.
Oh, they're 10 years later.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what I'm trying to ask is, when we get excited about these movies on Netflix, how do the actors benefit from these premieres on big platforms like Netflix? Does the money go to the director and the director spread it across like the way musicians do split sheets? Or Netflix will say, okay, let's list out all the actors and the actresses and let's give them their cut?
It really boils down to the contract the actors have with the film producer. So in Ghana, we don't have many residual income. In fact, it's something I started fighting for 2 years ago, but I was left in the fight alone because they'll say Lydia is troublesome. But we don't have it. So you see what's happening with the actors' strike in America.
In America, yeah.
Because you do so it's not just limited to Ghana, but even their own is better. You do a film, you get paid a one-off fee, and for 20 years you see that the person is making
still
money,
yeah.
and then you are not making.
Where to go then beautiful.
I've had in recent times a lot more directors who want to write you into percentages and all of that. They are trying, but you see, let me bring you to the Netflix. It's a numbers game,
right?
Ghanaians get excited when there's a Ghanaian film on Netflix, which is great. But Netflix is in Nigeria because Nigerians support in a way that
subscription based to
when you
intent.
go to a cinema in Nigeria, and I don't like to say these things because I don't like to compare.
Yeah.
But you are forced to.
We have our own, we have things about us that are equally great.
Right.
But I'll go to a Nigerian cinema. And films that in Ghana you think will not premiere at the cinema, in Nigeria not only do they premiere, in fact, people will come and pay to watch with their families.
Like locally made Nigerian films.
Yes.
The cinema culture.
The cinema culture is there, but beyond that, they love anything Nigerian. They'll come online and abuse the film, but they'll still go and watch.
They'll pay to watch it, actually.
Do you get me? They will pay, they put their money where their mouth is to go and watch. So if you have the numbers, it's much easier for Netflix to say, okay, we are going to Nigeria. Now in Ghana, a lot of people say, oh, Lydia, where's your last film? I'm like, but it's right there online. You know, when's the last time you did a movie? It's right there online. Have you searched? Have you been intentional? When I'm doing a reel on social media, I'm not always perfect, but I always try and look for a Ghanaian
song. Right.
Like, how do I put a Ghanaian song? Sometimes there are some Nigerian music that Charlie is banging, but this week I've used too many Nigerian music. Let me put. So they're very intentional about their support, and because of that, they get the numbers. So when you are having these discussions, it's much easier. So there's an investment in an industry where even if actors are not getting residual income, they are constantly working.
I wanted to share a bit of experience when you went through the Hollywood area, what you learned, who you got to know, all that networking. Just touching on that real quickly. But we need to sign out of Plus 89.9 FM right now for those who are on radio, but still we are online on Facebook as the streams are going on right now, and also on TV, on screen now, on free to air, on 3 Music TV. But definitely have a great time, the rest of the day as well. My name is Jay. Lenny, Serial, Olele. So for those on Plus FM, we'll catch you on the flip side. But don't forget as well, Tidal Rave is happening. You can't afford to miss it. Let me tell you how you can get your tickets real quickly. It's *713 *33 *10 hash. *713 *33 *10 hash. You can get your tickets. Also, book your cabanas ASAP or call 020-323-5822. That's for Tidal Rave. Saturday, 4th November, La Palm Beach Hotel. Just Vibes brunch is also happening. Beehive on the 28th at 11 a.m. We kick off all day. So make sure you are there. Music, dance, food, drinks on the house. You can come and enjoy with us. Issy and friends will all turn up with you as well. And don't forget, make some more money. More money. Just by dialing *959 hash and be on the game. 590 mobile. They say at Dawon Sem. Games available all day from Monday to Sunday. Monday special all the way to Sunday as Seda. You can't miss it. But don't forget, please take responsibly. It's not for people below the ages of 18 years as well. And before I wrap up with the LPMs this morning, also don't forget that when you brush your teeth, it's very good. It keeps your teeth very strong. But do that with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter. 10 times guaranteed stronger protection, stronger teeth, and it's fortified with pro-fluoride or micro-calcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invincible holes in your teeth. All right, prevents cavities and keeps your teeth strong and your mouth healthy. We're live in the studio with Lydia Forson, celebrating legends of our time this morning. And so come back to that question about when you mentioned the Hollywood experience. How was it like? Where did you go to? Who did you see? What did you do? What did you go and do there?
So as the AMAA ambassador, we flew to LA. What AMAA did, which was very, very good, was, they will host nomination events in different places, and we're very intentional about integrating us into other film, industries. So we went. Am I on?
Yeah, I turned it on. She touched it. She turned it over first.
Oh gosh. So what I loved. See, it's not even about the people. You probably judge me a little bit, but we got to be in the same hotel as like Kanye, Nicki. That time we were having the I think BET Awards, and they were very intentional about putting us like with the stars. Like I didn't say
that one. No, that one. I agree with you. I had that experience. So that one, when it comes to those things,
let me tell you. And so then the event, it was me, and I think I was the only Ghanaian there. And I'm always the only Ghanaian with the Nigerians. I don't know how that happened. But we had an event, and Chrisette Michelle came to perform. She was there. Danny Glover was there. I don't remember all the names. But what I loved about that night was, it was the first time I was in a Hollywood red carpet. And I was like,
okay. I'm here.
Am I here?
They picked us in this bus, like they're on these party buses. Yeah. I mean, Omotola was there. Kunle was. It was so much fun. It really wasn't about the people we met. It's how we were treated, like the professionalism. I was like, wow, this is
proper star.
This is sweet. This is nice.
That girl life.
And I think the only other time I've had that experience, when I was working in Scandal in South Africa, I remember going to my...
you were on Scandal.
I've been around for a minute.
And then she says that she's nobody.
And Scandal was actually one of the longest series, African series.
Is it still running?
Yeah, it's still running.
It's still
I
running.
see some of my co-actors, they are now doing, I see a lot of them on shows. It's still running.
I heard the lead actor wasn't well. The man who had the man who owned the company and had a lot of kids.
I don't remember.
He had a grey hair with
with the fro.
With the fro. I heard he wasn't well. I don't know if it's
and then we lost one of the actors as well last year was but
how many years has Scandal been running for?
Oof.
I think that's like an
know.
African Bold and Beautiful.
Scandal is so big that when US Scandal was in Africa, it was called the Fixer because they couldn't.
Wow, man.
But when I remember, and that time I didn't have money like that, and I didn't have a good phone. I had my iPad, and I was trying to take pictures. But I remember I went on the set, and my call time was 7 a.m. and I was like 2 minutes late, and then the production assistant called me and said, Lydia, if you're 5 minutes late, we're canceling your shoot for the day. I was like, okay. So I got there. I went to sit in the chair, to do my hair and makeup. She's like, no, it's not time for your makeup. You have to go here, go and do costume before you come here. Like, you can't go and sit in the chair until it's your time.
Cool.
So when I was done, I was sitting there like, okay, so what next? Like, oh, you can go to your room. I said, what room? I went there because I was not a season regular. They are just written guests.
But the guests, no.
Yo, it was like this with my costume there, with coffee, with...
Very important personality.
No sunburn.
Yo. When it was lunchtime, we would go to the cafeteria, and that time Longla was there. He was one of the directors, and he had done a contract with Yvonne Okoro. So because I was from Ghana, we got on, and it was like going to school for the first day, and I'm like, okay, who do I go and sit by? I never with their lunchtime. But they had fruits. I was like, like some bush girl.
Some people are doing the work somewhere.
Listen, and it was a studio, right? So you enter, you don't see anything outside. That's what I think they did Big Brother as well. Look, when you have an industry that is funded well and is supported, I come on set as an actor to just do my work. I don't have to worry about my makeup.
Yeah. I think I've been to the studios where they shoot Scandals.
Yo,
huge.
And you get on the set and there are so many cameras, and I was so nervous.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Lydia, okay, it's time for you to go on set. I was like, where do we do rehearsal? No, you go to the green room. You don't know the green room? I was like, wait, so this is where I relax. And then I go and do rehearsal in the green room. And then they'll come and get you to you.
You sound like a traumatized person who was
it's like when you go outside the country and you're driving on a good road.
And
you're going speed. You see, Ghana, you can't go speed too much because
you go enter Porto right now.
Oh my God.
But with the experience you're sharing, that would take me to your People's Choice nomination. That was different. I don't think I've even seen any Ghanaian on there.
I think I was the first.
Lydia was the first.
What do you think? What drew you
People's Choice Awards? How do you think that came about? And then also, how was the feeling like, really?
Honestly, when they sent me, when they send you these emails, you have to do NDAs and you're not allowed to talk about it. So when I saw the email in my inbox, I was confused. I thought it was spam. like there are days when I would get emails. Even till date, sometimes I get my agent is in South Africa, and there are times I get auditions where I'm like, is it me? Because I think Alfre Woodard, I don't know if you know the American actress. I did a training with her years ago, and she said something like, never lose that feeling of your first time. So I always feel like it's my first time. So when I got the email, I was like, so I had contacts at, DSTV, and, I reached out, and they're like, they'll put you in. Why? Not that I don't think I deserve it, but I'm like, why?
Something.
But, you'll be shocked how many people follow what you do.
Yeah.
There are days when I find Hollywood stars who are following me, and I remember one time Jackie sent me a message. How do you know this person? I didn't know she was following me. I didn't know she was following me. But you'd be amazed how many people follow you, what you do.
Just off your work.
I was so confused, but I was very happy. And so, when they called me and we did a Zoom call. Hi, Lydia, we're so excited to have you. I was like,
yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, why am I here? And I think sometimes I suffer imposter syndrome.
Yeah. I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
No, that's me.
Because you've said it over and over and over.
That's me. I'm the person who, not that I don't think I deserve, but I'm like...
No, throughout your career, from what you said, you've consistently been excited to be here.
Yes.
Which you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everything you've told me at every stage, you are still happy to be here. Usually people are like, yay.
Let me tell you, I'm grateful to have a career that's almost 20 years. Like some people
you never experienced it.
For me, I'm like, hey. But look, when we did the interviews and everything, I was just so happy to be nominated. I think, well, I can share this now. They let us know the winners, I think a week before. Okay. And I knew Eliza had won, and we did a Zoom for all of us, and we're talking, and I was like, I can't believe I'm here with these people. And I think I came in third or something. I'm not too sure. So the following year, they invited me to go to SA. You asked how Hollywood was. I said, I like enjoyment. I like places where I'm treated well. Last year, so NBC, based on, my nomination, I'd now become part of the family. So E would always feature me. Like every time they'll post, best dress for the week, I'm like, I'm on E. I'm like, I'm on E. I'm on E. Me. And, they flew me to SA for an event. And I told them that, I have to be back in Ghana, XY date. Like, sure. So put me, business is standard, but, put me on the flight. But when I got to the airport, who came to meet me? The car was picked in. You've been to South Africa. I was put in the Da Vinci.
Royalty.
And I was like, I have to be back the next day because I'm doing work in Ghana. They're like, no problem, we'll sort that out. Look, my flight was in the afternoon. I had to check out in the morning. They actually put me in a hotel for the 2 hours by the airport just so I could relax. I was, and at like everything, and I got one of my friends to come down, and she was like, "Yo, you know when your friends see you, they're like,
they're happy for you."
I'm like, yo.
Oh, the god of industry, Ghana. No, it's a god of single women. God of industry.
God of entertainment industry.
We have to wrap up our time.
I have one more.
Please make it
Computer man.
I have one more question. So
I'm having so much fun. I've not done an interview in a long time.
2000, we have 20 seconds to go.
2007, next movie star. For me, that's the first time I got introduced to you, and I'm just curious to find out you've done this for a decade plus,
almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
We are not seeing enough incubating platforms that will spotlight the next Lydia Forsons. And does that bother you? Because you write and you direct, and I'm sure you've seen talent. I mean, if Shirley was seated here, I would have asked her the same thing. But since you are here, how would you rate the type of new talents? Because Ghanaians keep crying here, we are tired of Ajitanan.
Best answer in just the next second, please.
How do we fix
best answer in 30 seconds? We have to cut.
Just to be honest, there have been a lot of new actors on our screen. When people say that you are tired of seeing the same faces, I'm like, when's the last time you saw me in a movie? It's just people's minds. I think Shirley especially has done amazing work in bringing a lot more people into the industry. However, it takes money to do a whole lot of these things, so we want money. Did I do that in 1 second?
We have to go. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Our time is fast spent and overrun, but definitely just catch this conversation back tonight at 10 p.m. and of course also on our socials as well. And on that note, Lydia, thank you so very much. I know it was magic to pull you here, I know you did this based on relationship. Thank you so very much and truly appreciate it. And we are out.